Hi everyone, it's REC3 and welcome to today's video. Tower skins were such a good idea for Clash Royale because I love to personalize my own characters in games. I'm going to be ranking all of these tower skins that are currently in the game based on my opinion. If you have a favorite tower skin or want to suggest what tower skin belongs in which tier, let me know your opinions in the comments section below. And before we start, if I place your tower in a low tier, please know that while I may not be personally a big fan of it, it's not going to go into Clash Royale law saying that this tower will permanently be bad for everyone and should never be used ever again. So let's get started. The default King Tower. There's really no reason to have this tower skin anymore. Of course, if you're a free-to-play player, then that's fine. But remember, there's a free tower skin that could be unlocked in a challenge for free, which of course was the Igloo skin, and I'm sure more of those could probably come in the near future. This is actually going to be the only skin that belongs in the D tier, because in general, virtually every single other skin right now is better than this one. And the color scheme of it doesn't really help at this point either. Its color almost blends into the floor at this point. But hey, maybe that's because we're so used to seeing this tower skin over the course of 4 years. But yeah, personally, I would say that this one goes in the D tier. The Dragon Tower. This skin is amazing. Your King Tower is a living Cyclops dragon. His tail is wrapped around the whole tower, his eye is just peering out, and the Princess Towers look pretty good too. I like how wide they look, well, being that they're dragon eggs, I think. And overall, the yellow color that they picked for this tower skin is fairly unique. Well, of course, unique for tower skin color scheme. And because of this, it really makes it stand out from other towers. Overall, for how cool this looks, I would place it in the S tier. The Prince Tower. I really like the color scheme on this tower. Not to mention, just in general, how detailed everything is. Especially the gold King Tower. I also appreciate how the death animation for this tower actually poofs away like a cloud. I don't really see any flaws with this tower in my opinion, so I would place this in S tier. Lantern Tower. Meh. To the people who didn't play this season, they probably wouldn't guess at first what this tower is supposed to be. I'm sure they would probably more assume that this is a balloon tower skin, which it's not too far off. The color scheme is appropriate for the theme, but just now after the season and in any other season going forward, it just looks so like ugly and old. Other than size, even the King Tower doesn't really look too different from the Princess Towers. I know that this would probably be too hard to do, but maybe if those towers were probably like hovering slightly above the ground like actual lanterns, then that would probably make it much better. And of course, it would definitely make it unique out of all the tower skins. But overall, it's just a very forgettable skin, so I would place it in C tier. Birthday Cake. I like this one. I like the details. I like the animations for the candles. Overall, it looks very delicious and pleasing to the eye. And I especially like the small detail of adding the balloons to the side of the tower. Even those balloons look appealing to the eye, although I definitely wouldn't eat them. The only thing that would make this tower skin even better is if the Princess Towers were more unique separately from the King Tower. Don't we celebrate birthdays with like one cake? Maybe if the towers were something like, I don't know, giant party hats or something like that, I think that would be really nice. But overall, it's still a good skin, so that's why I would place it in the A tier. The Waterfall Tower. This one's pretty solid. It actually remixes the look of the default King Tower and gives it a whole, not only legendary theme, but a legendary upgrade. I like the waterfall animation, I like the gold lining on parts of the tower that really highlights it, and I really like the floating rocks that circle the King Tower. The only thing that's keeping this from being better is that it's just slightly too similarly tied to the default King Tower. And that's of course just mainly due to theming, not too much in appearance. But this is an example of a skin that's really solid, and I would have no questions as to why you would be equipping this. So I would place this in the A tier. Fireplace Tower. It's definitely better than the Lantern Tower, but it's not as good as the Cake or Legendary King Towers. The Princess Towers are pretty cool, and I like the shiny red wrapping paper and the gold bow, but the King Tower itself is just very underwhelming. If you took away the snow and the stockings, it would just look too similar to the default King Tower. Of course, in terms of structure and color scheme. And by the way, I know that these skins are supposed to be within theme for certain seasons, but I'm just judging these in general appearance based on any season and how they would fit in. But you know what? I would place this in B tier. The Gingerbread Tower. This was probably the rarest skin you can get in the game, as it was only available in the shop in a special offer. This skin actually has the same delicious and eye-peeling a look as the Cake Tower, but it actually has more details and a better range of colors. My favorite thing that I always like and notice about this tower skin are the crown symbols on each tower. In particular, these ones give it more detail in the way it was made. While the Princess Towers themselves look amazing, I just wish that the Gingerbread King Tower itself just had a little bit more detail. Or what I mean is like more props or something to make his King Tower look more different. But this is still a pretty good skin, so I'm gonna place it in the A tier. The Igloo Tower. This is actually the most common tower skin in the game, besides the default tower skin, of course. And of course, this was because it was free to unlock in a challenge. It's alright. Like the Gingerbread Tower skin, I like the crown emblem designs, you know, as them being like the igloo windows. But the rest of the skin is pretty meh. The King Tower and Princess Tower skins don't look too different. In fact, the Princess Tower skins look fairly boring. But you know what? I kind of like the color scheme of this skin. Overall, I'd place it in the B tier. The Log Tower. This skin actually has the exact same problems as the Igloo skin, except while the color scheme is not as good, the detail on it and the fact that it's a log makes it better. So it pretty much just evens out with the Igloo Tower in the end, which of course means that I will be placing it in the B tier. Sandcastle Tower. This one's not great. The colors aren't really great. There's not too much detail to the skin, and the King and Princess Towers look almost identical. Again, I totally understand the theming, but in any season, this isn't really gonna look too great. So I would place this in the C tier. Shark Tank Tower. For a first skin, it was pretty neat. I appreciate how the towers are aquariums, with the King Tower actually having a shark that moves. However, other than the cool design like the gold spikes, there's not really too much else that it has to offer. The color scheming is alright, but at least the blue coloring and the bubble animations to keep it, you know, active help fix this a little bit. But you know what, in general, I wouldn't be questioning as to why anybody would be using this skin, because it's still alright. I would place this tower skin in the B tier. The Rascal Tree Tower. Not only is this skin messy looking, for the appropriate reasons of course, but the color scheme and details aren't really that impressive. The only thing saving it is that it's not a similar gray color to the ground, and the Tree King Tower, you know, actually looks like a tree. It's pretty neat. I would place this tower skin in the C tier. Coconut Tower. This one's pretty cool. The details are nice, the color scheme is appealing, and the Princess Towers themselves look awesome. I like how bulky they look, and they almost look stronger as a result. And the King Tower itself is so cool. The coconut's design and details are visually appealing, of course, and in general, it's just really satisfying to look at, especially when you pair the color scheme up between the Princess Tower and the King Towers together. I would definitely place this tower skin in the S tier. Pumpkin Tower. This one's really cool to me because of the King Tower. Besides, of course, the dragon skin, having a King Tower that's alive and staring down at your opponent is really cool. The colors are fairly appealing, and I like the details, especially, you know, the Crown Tower logos. But the only thing I really hoped from the skin was that the Princess Tower and King Towers would look fairly different. Of course, the King Tower actually has a face, but the Princess Towers, you know, they could have been like, I don't know, coffins or something else, right? You can use your imagination for that. But you know what? For the reasons that I already mentioned, I would still place it in the A tier. Finally, we have the Goblin Hut. This skin is actually really nice. Of course, the giant Goblin Hut with the giant Crown Tower logo as the star of the show, especially with all those colorful party lights. Although the Princess Towers might look a bit plain at first, the backs of them actually show that they are filled with gold. And the King Tower itself, from behind, you can see that there's even more detail to it because there's a whole party going on inside of it. Even if you aren't necessarily able to see the gold coming from the Princess Towers, they still look appropriate. And they still have enough detail on them to make them look fairly nice. But I like the colors and the overall theme of being able to party anywhere in the arena or in any arena, which has made my decision to be putting it in the S tier. And that was my tower tier list. Let me know right now what your favorite tower skin is in this game. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you want more quality fun, I'll see you in the next one.